systems go for Banyana Banyana as they get ready to kick off their Turkish Women's Cup campaign. South Africa begin their preparations for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup in the earthquake-hit country. They face Uzbekistan this afternoon. The host nation, Türkiye, opted to withdraw from the tournament following the quake that has claimed the lives of more than 40,000 people in both Türkiye and Syria. To chat about the tournament and Banyana's year ahead, I'm joined via Zoom by former national team captain Nthabeleng Modigo. A very good morning to you, Nthabeleng. Thank you so much for your time. I'm just going to get it out of the way. The elephant in the room, the question everybody is probably asking themselves and wondering why. Is it a good idea to have Banyana Banyana having gone to a country that has been hit by an earthquake that has claimed more than 40,000 lives, and the host nation of this very competition they're involved in is not even taking part?
Good morning, Morena, and thank you for having me. I think, our condolences go out to, and our hearts go out to the Syrian and Turkey people, for this thing that they're going through. We just are in tears with them, and our hearts are going out to them. Firstly, I'd like to say, I think, thinking for Coach Desiree, I think she's maybe taking this moment to actually prepare the team. I remember I spoke to some of the players and I asked them, how is it going there in camp? And everybody's in good spirits, and good for us. They are in a different part of the country where the disaster hasn't even struck. So I think they are just taking this opportunity to actually prepare for the upcoming World Cup and making use of the time and the break that we are currently on.
There's Uzbekistan, Hong Kong, there's the likes of North Macedonia, Estonia, there's Bulgaria in there. These are the kinds of countries you wouldn't expect to see at a World Cup. But there is also Zambia, who, were one of the best teams at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations last year. So there is some kind of competition for us, but not exactly the kind that you're going to be meeting in Australia and New Zealand. Is this the right kind of tournament for Banyana to be playing, considering what they're going to be met with down under?
Look, you've just elaborated on it. It's a mixed pot of whatever that we can come up against there in the World Cup. But yes, I think Coach Desiree is maybe thinking this is the first time that the girls are coming together. It's the first camp. Let me try and get a good enough test, just to see what combinations can I stick with, who can I still keep in camp, and so on and so forth. It would be a bad one to be meeting so early in the year, and we're already faced with the giants. I think maybe she's just trying to take it one game at a time, trying to get the team together, trying to give the confidence back to the girls. Hence, we are playing against, you could call them the minnows, but it's a good selection of teams that are participating in this tournament.
There's no Janine van Wyk, there is no Thembi Kgatlana. There is essentially no spine of the national team, but we do have LM10, that being Linda Motlhalo, who's there. We've got the captain, Refilwe Jane. We've got Jermaine Sioposeno, who's been doing amazing things out abroad. We do have our very trusted goalkeepers who are also going to be there. So we do have the usual faces, but we don't have the lady that we trust to score the goals for us. The lady that scored the very first goal for Banyana Banyana at a World Cup 4 years ago. Is that something to be concerned about from a South African football fan point of view?
Look, as you mentioned them, I would also be worried. But like I said, the girls are in camp. Everybody's just in a high spirit. And, Coach Desiree, if you remember, Morena, we lost Thembi at a very critical time early on in the WAFCON last year. And she had to make use of other players in that position. And as the story goes, we have managed to win even without Thembi, but we were with Thembi in spirit. And it's so amazing to learn even from her own social media that she's doing so well. The other day she was posting that she's looking at her boots, and in no time she'll be back in the boots, getting to run and having a feel with the ball. I think that is also maybe allowing the team to actually play around with a little bit of combinations, like I mentioned earlier, to see other players who can be able to fit in. We know that if we can give Thembi this time to actually properly rehab and be back in the squad in time for the World Cup, we'll have our power up top in the front, in the striking areas. So I think maybe Coach Desiree is just trying to give her enough time, without rushing her back into the team. And as we mentioned as well, we are missing our stalwart, Janine van Wyk. She's currently busy with her team in Greece, and she's also looking forward to winning the trophy there, with her club. And I think Coach Desiree is just trying to, give so much chance and so much opportunity to all the girls without them feeling like, there's so much pressure, I can lay back. Everybody now is gunning for that World Cup spot, and they are making sure that they grab each and every opportunity that is presented to them.
Ntabeleng, before I let you go, there was the UEFA SAFA Women Assist Program that has recently taken place that SAFA had introduced. There's not a lot that a lot of people know about it, but it is something that seeks to empower women in this country, at least, where leadership is concerned, at least from an administrative point of view, but also to get women into better positions in terms of, furthering the development of the women's game in South Africa. I don't know if you were part of it, but if you were, just what do you make of programs like that, where we're trying to get women's football to levels of beyond just winning an AFCON and then celebrating it for the next couple of years, but actually every year we go back to the World Cup, and when we are at the World Cup, we try to do better. And in terms of administration, at some point, we are talking about having a female SAFA president. What do you make of the kind of program like that?
Well, Morena, I was actually very much privileged to be invited to the same workshop, and I can tell everybody that's listening right now that it has made such a tremendous change into my own view of the game. And, we were privileged to actually be facilitated by good members of the UEFA structure that actually shared a lot of knowledge, a lot of tips in terms of what it is that has made Europe to be the powerhouse today of women's soccer, and what we still can be able to do in the coming years or so that we can actually at least get to that stage, as well as Africa, as South Africa in particular. It is a wonderful initiative that SAFA took on, and I commend them because, the ladies that were in the room, I think everybody got empowered, everybody got to understand what Europe is actually busy with and what Europe is actually doing, and what nuggets we can take as Africans in terms of getting better in the game. They were also, the European counterparts, they were also very much impressed with the knowledge that we also shared with them in terms of getting to understand what is it that we've done in the couple of decades since the women's team was brought back into the competitive world stages. I think the European members as well, they made sure that they share as much as they can with each one of us. I mean, that room was full of media, full of coaches, full of administrators, and each one just took home a lot. I mean, right now it's raining in Johannesburg, and they spoke about the weather conditions, the harsh weather conditions that the girls have to endure in Europe. And I'm here now telling the young girls in my team that, listen, rain or not, we have to carry on, because this is something that we actually have to go out of our way to make ourselves better, because you never know whether it's raining or it's sunshine, the game has to go on. And I think, with such initiatives, more people can be able to learn. I hope it doesn't end with just this one, and more others can also learn from it as well.
I share those same sentiments with you, Ntabeleng, and I think the rest of the country does as well. I'm glad that is a program that you speak so highly of, and may more come after this one. We'll leave it there with you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Ntabeleng. That is the former Banyana Banyana captain, Ntabeleng Mudiko, just speaking, of course, about the Turkish Women's Cup that Banyana Banyana is said to be involved in. They are kicking off against Uzbekistan this afternoon. They are building up to the second FIFA Women's World Cup that they're going to be involved in. That's happening a little later on this year in Australia and New Zealand. And that is where we leave your South African morning sport. Faith?
Thanks very much for that one. Morena Mutupi giving us the latest there from the sports. Is, of course, supporting Banyana Banyana all the way to the win. And this is where we leave